How do you feel right now, Tom?
I don't think it's quite sunk in yet. I'm obviously extremely proud. A club that I started as a 19-year-old fresh-faced loanee, to be a player, to be a captain, to be interim manager, it's a massively proud moment for me. I'll be honest, I've not really thought of the sentiment behind it too much. The first thing that when I got the call was how do we beat Birmingham on Saturday, and that's the honest truth. But I'm sure over the next days, weeks, it will sort of, I'll realise how big this opportunity is.
You're a former Premier League winning player with Manchester United, yet you've said on a number of times here that Watford is my club. Why?
I think it's where I grew from being a boy to a man, and then came back, and just the amount of years I spent here, I felt an important part of the dressing room of the club. I really matured as a player and as a person to be one of the leaders of the group, and yeah, the club's a massive part of my life. It's embedded in my heart, and yeah, so getting the club promoted back from the Championship to the Premiership was one of the biggest achievements of my career, and yeah, I want to try and my aim is to try and achieve big things for the club in the future. Although I'm very aware that this is only a temporary thing. Yeah, I'd be lying if I said I've not dreamt of achieving big things here.
What influence have your first few months in a coaching role with the under-18s had on your decision to accept this role?
Yeah, massive. I mean, if you'd have rang me 6 months ago, I would have said absolutely not, I'm not ready. I understand that youth team and academy football is very different, but I'm quite fresh out of playing at this level. I'm obviously well experienced at the club, so the transition of knowing the staff, knowing the players, knowing how the place works has been easy, but yeah, the 8 months I've had in the academy, just being comfortable on the grass, being comfortable sort of managing players and human management has been absolutely priceless. I've learned more in this 8 months than I have my whole playing career put together probably. So yeah, it's really grounded me. It's made me feel ready for it, and only time will tell if I actually am.
Saw you a few weeks into that academy role and you were almost keeping office hours. It's quite a different world, isn't it, when you step out of playing? How have you found that transition? Surprisingly smooth, or? Yeah,
massively. I mean, the job completely engulfs your life. You don't realise how sort of selfish you are as a player, that you have to look after one person, and your own performance is all that matters. I had a little bit of a transition into captaincy when you sort of do have to worry about the group, but this is completely something else. It's difficult to switch off. You have to love the game, you have to love the group, be passionate about developing players, and me and my staff will be working every hour of the day to make sure this is a success.
How far back into your playing career did you feel a calling towards coaching?
When I came back to Watford, genuinely, I mean, I saw a couple of young players in the group that I felt needed a little bit of guidance, and I became passionate about helping those players. So that's when I thought maybe that would be a natural role for me to step into when I finished playing. As the years developed and I became more and more of a leader, I really enjoy the responsibility of trying to guide players, help players. When I got my injury under Chris Wilder, he invited me to sort of sit in all of his meetings, and that was real sort of good experience and gave me that real sort of motivation to step into the coaching side of things.
This wouldn't be especially unusual where someone who's just finished playing takes over, but to have perhaps so many players in the squad who you've played alongside, that must feel a bit different.
Yeah, I'm going to use it as a positive. I know their games inside out. I know them as people, and hopefully they would say I was a very respectful teammate to them, and they repay me with hard work, endeavour, and general respect that I have for them. So I'm seeing it as an advantage, and a head start that we can have.
How's that going to feel, being in the other part of the changing room?
Yeah, it's already a little bit strange, you know, eating on the staff table in the canteen, changing in the staff dressing room, but I feel comfortable. I feel excited. I feel ready, motivated for the challenge ahead, and we're going to attack it head on.
What are the board's expectations of you then, and is there are you working to any time frame with them?
No, I mean, I had quite a fairly long conversation with the owner and the chairman on Sunday morning. We set out that it would be till the end of the season. I mean, I know these things can change either way. So my absolute focus is winning the next game and making sure everyone leaves this season looking forward to next.
What are going to be the most important things to accomplish and establish between now and the weekend?
A clear game plan, so a clear and precise message to the players that what we do in and out of possession. I won't be trying to reinvent the wheel or how the club plays. There'll be some subtle changes and small change in the mindset and organisation, but I respect what's gone before me. I don't think the whole thing needs turning on its head, but there will be some hopefully visible changes starting in Birmingham. You've
had a lot of experience of watching football. Presumably you've watched quite a few Watford matches this season, in one way or the other, in between your other duties.
Yeah, whenever we're playing locally for the 18s, we play every Saturday morning, so whenever we're local I'll go to the first team games. I've been to most of the home ones, so I feel like even the players I've not played with, I know their games fairly well. Since I got the call Saturday evening, I think I've watched more hours of footage than I probably should have done. I'm a bit bombarded with it, but listen, like I said before, you have to engulf yourself in this, and yeah, I'm sure my watching the first team games as a spectator will certainly help me get another head start.
Without telling other teams what your exact tactics are going to be, what does the Tom Cleverley footballing philosophy look like?
Yeah, well, you have to adapt from academy football, that's for sure. The atmospheres, scenarios, different situations, results can sort of make you have to adapt, but it'll be a little bit of me like me as a player, high energy, on the front foot, aggressive, and then hopefully we'll be a penetrating, quickly attacking team. So listen, all the things, every manager I suppose says this now, all the things people want to hear, but I'm confident that I have a clear plan of how to get those results on the pitch.
Talk to us a little bit about the staff you've chosen to have with you, starting with Armand, who's worked with you with the under-18s this season.
Yeah, so brought in Armand Cavalla from the 18s with me. He's worked with me all the 8 months. Really pleased with the dynamic. We understand each other. I feel like sometimes my weaknesses are his strengths and vice versa, so we work well in that aspect. So that was a no-brainer for me.
And Damon Lathrope, who's been the Watford women's manager for a little while now and had success in that role, a former professional footballer as well.
So Damon Lathrope was one that I was also keen to bring in. Since when I first started thinking about us moving into a coach, I used to go watch Damo coach in the backfields. Was impressed with him then, and then we've had a lot of crossovers in the building. Whenever we talk football, he sort of blows me away a little bit. Really impressed with his tactical knowledge. We see the game in a very similar fashion, and yeah, I think he's a real important part of the team.
Needing of no introduction to any Watford supporters is Jimmy Gilligan. Would experience have been a key part of that decision?
Bringing Jimmy Gilligan in was key to the whole thing, really. I was conscious that me, Damo and Armand are all fairly young for coaching experience. Jimmy has that in abundance. He's been a mentor to me right from the word go in my coaching career. So I suppose in that aspect things won't change. He'll be a bit of a mentor, he'll be an advisor to the three of us. And to add to that, I mean, Jimmy knows the club inside out. I think it's quite a nice story that an interim manager from the academy has brought up Jimmy, who was an academy product of the club and played under Graham Taylor in that era, and really knows the values and traditions of the club really well.
There isn't a Watford supporter anywhere, Tom, that won't be wishing you to do well. So how do you see their role between now and the end of the season?
Yeah, just to get behind the team. I don't think there's a more exciting game than Leeds at home, Good Friday on Sky, to sort of greet me and the players back. Let's get some positivity. We'll try and sort of encourage that with our performance and our front foot mentality. But I know we'll have plenty travelling up to Birmingham that we have to impress first. But yeah, we're all in this together. There'll be no finger pointing from it within the squad. We'll be absolutely unified, and I hope we have a team performance they can be proud of.